Hey guys, welcome to Hanging Out with Dee. I'm Dee Harris, and I'm really super excited to introduce to you my good friend Cynthia Quintanal. Hey Cynthia!
Hey, thank you for having me, Dee.
Yes, this is her second time here. She and her husband Rick actually opened the show for us when we started back in February, so it's really, really cool to have you.
It's great to be back.
Yes. So you are a multidimensional healer.
Yes.
A poet.
Yes.
A musician.
Yes.
A fashion designer.
Yes, that's
a
new
Renaissance
and surprising.
So there's a lot we're going to talk about today. So you grew up in upstate New York. Tell us about your early years. You talked about loving nature at 8 years old, discovering that love for nature.
Yeah. Grew up in the woods.
Yes.
In a tiny, tiny little town. In fact, my town, Colesville, New York, had 7 feet of snow in like 2 days last year. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. And I mean,
Woods.
as tragic as that is, it's pretty astounding. But that's the kind of thing that I grew up with, was a lot of nature.
Yeah.
I used to walk every day in the woods, just making friends with all the animals. I had 5 siblings, but
You felt alone.
I really felt alone. There were not many people my age around.
Okay, so you were the
very
youngest?
rural area. I was the youngest for 5 years, and then my brother John
was born.
made me not the youngest anymore. So yeah, the animals and the trees and the forest became my friends. And then at about 8 years old, I had an amazing experience.
Tell us about it,
Yeah.
Cynthia.
I went my usual route up into the woods, and the route was very steep.
Yeah.
You know, I had to climb up a small mountain. It wasn't, didn't take me hours or anything, maybe a 20-minute steep climb. And at the top I had an area where I used to rest and catch my breath.
Yeah.
Until I went further into the woods. And at this very spot, there were trees that were their roots were intertwined. So I liked to sit, it was almost like a little basket that I could sit in.
Yeah.
So I went to sit down, and this beautiful, pure white dove swooped down in front of me. And honest to God, I felt like it was the Holy Spirit just swooping down in front of me, and it gave me that feeling of grace.
Yeah.
It took my breath away, and just was an incredible, incredible experience.
Yeah.
Words can't describe what happened in that moment.
Absolutely.
But it was definitely. I felt like.
And you were 8 years old.
I was 8 years old.
And you at 8 years old, you knew it was special.
I knew it was special, and I felt that it was a message for me to devote my life to developing that relationship with
God.
Spirit and God.
Yeah. That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So let's fast forward to Catholic school. You had a tale of 2 teachers.
I do have a tale of 2 teachers.
Let's talk about the teachers.
Yeah. So it first started 3rd or 4th grade. I can't remember. I think it was 3rd grade.
Yeah.
A teacher told me that I couldn't sing in front of the class. And now in Catholic school, in a small Catholic school, you have the same 16, let's say, people
moving
in your class, moving with you. You
I went to
don't
Catholic
change.
school. That's true. Yeah.
And so I was marked the girl who couldn't sing.
Horrible.
And you just mouth the words.
Horrible.
And in 5th grade, I had.
So that was devastating.
It was devastating.
She just blurted out in front of the class, "You can't sing."
Yeah, it was devastating because I was one that, when I was outside, I was singing. I was always singing, you know, and my brother that I like to call my Irish twin, who's like my real soul brother. We used to wash dishes and sing together, and singing was a huge part of my life.
Yes.
I didn't stop singing because if I didn't sing in church, my dad would give me the
look.
belt.
The belt? Oh my gosh, he was serious.
He was serious. You participated when you went to
sing
church.
In
yes.
church. Okay.
Luckily, because when I got to 5th grade, I had Sister Dosios, who
Yes.
was one of the sisters who lived at our parish.
Yes.
And so my whole family sat in the row behind the nuns.
Yes.
And Sister Dosios always sat in front of me.
Yeah.
And the first day of class, she said to the whole class, we're going to sing a song, and Cynthia is going to start the song.
And the class was mortified.
Groaned.
Yes.
Everyone groaned. They were like,
that's the girl who can't sing.
that's the...
Or not allowed to sing. Yes.
And she said, because I sit in front of Cynthia and her family at church, and I know that Cynthia not only can sing, but she has perfect pitch. So she will start every song this year.
What's the name of that nun? Is she still alive?
Sister Dosios.
Sister Dosios, is she still alive?
Love her. I
We don't know. Wherever you are, Sister
Wherever
Dosios.
you are.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you.
The power of teachers and the power of mentors speaking positive words over your life.
Sure.
Oh my
she
goodness.
was an amazing, amazing woman. She did all of the creative things in the school.
Yes. Beautiful.
Just incredible woman.
Thank you, Sister Dosios, wherever you are.
Yeah.
And then you talk about Father Sismar,
Sismar.
who helped you discover something very special.
Yeah, I want to thank you for all of this, because after speaking with you and talking to you about all of these folks, I started looking them up online, and I found Father Sismar, and I wrote him an email the other day.
Oh my goodness.
Just thanking him for, the gifts that he gave me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have goosies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
powerful.
So he was my sophomore religious studies teacher.
Yes.
And a very charismatic man. And on retreat, one year with him, there was a woman who was gifted by Spirit. Harp showed up on her front door.
Wow.
And she started playing and singing. And so we were having a really intense retreat. And some of us stayed up late with her, and she was playing and singing the harp, and I had a spontaneous thing called Slain in the Spirit, where I just went out.
Yeah.
While she was singing, I just left my body.
Wow.
And went to this place of pure love and light. In fact, when I came back, I don't know how long I was out. I don't know. I woke up lying on the bed, and I was just sobbing because I just didn't want to come back. It was the most beautiful place. And so after that, I discovered through the charismatic movement in the school that I had developed some
special giftings. Yeah.
giftings in my hands, and was putting my hands on people, and
people are being healed.
people were being healed. So,
oh my goodness. And then you said your mom got freaked out about it, and
my
your mom was
got
like,
freaked
"Stop
out
it, Mom!"
because I was. People were starting to,
like
idolize me almost. I hate to say that, but and my mom was like, "This
stop it.
Needs to stop," and she was absolutely right. I was too young to appreciate what was happening and understand that it was a gift and not something to be prideful about.
Understood.
Or whatever. So she asked Father D, we affectionately call him because his first name is Richard, and it was Father Dick.
Yeah.
Father D, to just ease off the charismatic stuff.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's time for Dee's life questions.
I know.
All right. So Cynthia, you made this really cool quote from I think it was the Dalai Lama, where the Dalai Lama said, "If you meet a spiritual person and there's no laughter, walk away, man."
Walk away. Walk away.
Why, Cynthia?
Well, just because being spiritual doesn't mean we don't get sand in our shorts from time to time,
Absolutely.
And if we're not able to laugh at ourselves and bring that humanness into our spirituality, we're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes, correct.
And we're going to make mistakes, and we learn from those mistakes. And so to be able to laugh at ourselves while we're learning, I think is such a gift, rather than getting all mired down in like sad or angry or whatever it is,
whatever we perceive spirituality to look like.
Exactly.
There's this pastor friend of mine who says, he will sometimes look at the congregation and say, "Some of you look like you've been baptized in lemon juice. Smile." No sour faces.
No sour faces.
Not necessary. Yes. And there's a beautiful picture of a laughing Jesus that we'll see later on in the show. Show them, which I really love.
That was gifted to me by a friend. And
I love that.
I carry it everywhere.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what is spirituality?
Spirituality is really embodying the truth of who you are and your path to God, basically.
Absolutely.
It's not about a dogma or a particular church or religiosity. It's about truthfully finding your path to God.
Absolutely.
And embracing God as, what you will, source, a higher power than yourself.
Absolutely.
And allowing that to address every single aspect of your day. It's not about going to church and coming home and closing the door on that aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
It's incorporating it into every part of your day, whether it's making food for your family or taking a walk. It's about picking up your head from these electronic devices that we have and smiling at the person that's in front of you and making eye contact.
That's a big one for me.
Yeah.
And also like going into deep meditation and all this stuff and yoga and crossing your legs for hours and then getting up and hating your neighbor, hating the person next to you, not even
cursing out the person that cut you off
in traffic
because you're in a hurry now to get to your
after the
next
long
thing.
Right? And then you're swearing at everybody else. Crazy. Okay. How can someone find spirituality? We're like in a time now where people are always seeking. People are seeking and they're trying to find who is God, what is source, how do I get there? How do you think someone can find that?
Are we at my bullet points?
No, we're not there yet. Don't give them everything, just a taste.
Let's see, how do I give a taste
just
of this?
give them one.
Well, I think the very, very first thing is just being honest. A lot of us have been told who to be. And, or we have a perception of who we might need to be, or who we would like people to see us to be.
Absolutely. Yes.
And that's not always the truth of who we are. So I think that the main thing is to spend a lot of time really being honest with yourself and with other people, and like really dropping into the truth of who you are.
Truth is a powerful part of spirituality.
It really is.
I
It
love
really
that.
is.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, it's time for I Don't Like That Mom. Okay, so Miss Cynthia, what gets on your last nerve? Just share a few of them with us. One of them you said was lip service. You hate that.
Yeah. When someone gives lip service to something or who they are, and they don't embody it. I wouldn't say I hate that, but I get disappointed.
Yes.
Because I get very excited when people share who they are. We're all part of this tapestry, this beautiful tapestry. So if someone is not portraying who they truly are inside, the part of the tapestry is
It's
missing.
unraveling, yes.
It's missing.
Absolutely.
So
like
that's why I don't
hypocrisy.
that. Hypocrisy, yeah.
Yeah, saying you're one thing and then being the absolute.
Acting like something else, yeah.
When you think no one's watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Performance, spirituality.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Or performing in any area of our life.
Yeah.
And not being truthful.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
agree. We don't like that, Mon.
Yeah, we don't like that.
And then the other thing you said you hated was war.
War.
You were a child of the Vietnam War. You were there. You were a child when the war was
When
happening.
the war was happening,
Yeah.
So all those news rolls on the TV, and it was very upsetting to me to see that goes on in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate enough to live in this country, and we've been very fortunate not to be affected the way other countries have been devastated by war.
Yeah.
And families ripped apart, and we see it with what's happening now with the refugees, and
Absolutely.
it's just mind-boggling to me that we've come so far in technology, and yet we still have these horrible, horrible wars. I remember sitting with my 7th grade teacher, history teacher, and just saying, why? Why does this happen? And he had a reason for every why until I exhausted him, and then he just said, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know, because
we haven't evolved.
We haven't evolved
in
yet.
that area of dealing with conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still, it's like the thread that's going through this whole conversation is that if everyone stepped into their truth,
Absolutely.
I really don't think we'd have war, because no one would be unhappy. Everyone would be passionate about what they're doing.
Yeah.
They'd be connected to source, and they would know that it's just not necessary.
Absolutely.
To assert your will over someone else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't like that,
don't like
Mom.
that, Mom.
No, 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 no. Okay, guys, it's time for Say What? Okay, guys, I'm really excited about what Cynthia is going to be sharing with us today. She'll be talking about how to keep it real, how to make spirituality real. Not spooky, not weird, not foofy, as one of my friends likes to say. Foofy and poofy. He's like, I hate spiritual people, they're poofy and foofy. And he's such a spiritual person, but I know what he means. But how to make it real and how to make it a practical part of our life. Yeah. All right, let's go for it.
Very grounded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep your feet.
We can be woo-woo, but as long as our feet are on the ground, we're good.
Yes.
We're good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 All right, Dylan, give us the first slide. Wrong slide, Dill.
All right, I like it though, living life on your terms. I like that.
How do we embody our spirituality? All right, go for it.
Our spirit reality, yeah. Yeah.
First one.
First one is honesty, and we spoke about that a little bit a minute ago. Just being honest with ourselves and with others. Who are we at our core? Who are we really? Not who we think we're supposed to be, not who we're told we're supposed to be, but who are we as the spirit that embodied in our mother's womb.
Absolutely.
What was our contract with God before we came into the world, and how are we living that? How
Stop
are we
right
living
there, Miss Cynthia.
Yeah.
What was our contract with God?
What was
Go
our
a little
contract with
deeper,
God?
Miss Cynthia.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's my belief that we do. We have these contracts that are spoken of before we come into our bodies. And it's a mystery to us. We develop amnesia after we're born. And that's sort of our journey, is to get back and discover what that contract is.
And that contract is what we call purpose.
Purpose.
Absolutely.
Passionate purpose.
Oh my God. Too good. Aha moments. Next graphic, Dylan. Next one, Dylan. We said be honest with ourselves. Next one.
Yep.
What's the next one? You said be humble.
Be humble. Humility.
Yeah.
Let your ego take the back seat.
Take the back seat.
Take the back seat. So it's service versus ambition. That's the best way I
What's
could
the
describe
difference?
that.
Talk
so
to me.
when you're in service, you're doing something because you're passionate about it. You're helping others. You're. It's not about like lowering yourself below others. It's being on the same level of other people, and you know, your talents. You can mentor someone, or you can give them a leg up,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Instead of competing with them, let's
Absolutely.
say. An ambitious person would just use that person for their benefit.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's sort of the difference.
So you're saying service doesn't mean that you're a mat.
Doesn't mean you're a doormat.
No.
Exactly.
It means you're giving of yourself to others.
Freely.
Freely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And there's a great quote by Ezra Taft Benson, who was the Secretary of Agriculture under Dwight Eisenhower.
Oh my goodness.
I
Go
know.
for it.
I know. I found
Tell
this
me.
quote and I was
love
like,
it.
who is that person? And he's got, look him up, he's got great quotes. But his quote is, pride is concerned with who is, the difference is pride is concerned with who is right. Humility is concerned with what is right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, like, you know, when you're in pride, it's like you have to be right. When you're in humility, you do what is right.
Absolutely.
So,
I love that.
Yeah.
Next graphic. Spend time in nature.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know
yes,
about
yes,
that
yes.
from the age of 8 and
I
before?
do, and you know, it's. I think when one opens your eyes to the beauty that's around you,
Yeah.
it brings with you just this sense of hope instead of fear.
Yes.
And we begin to see God in everything.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like how can there not be a God
Absolutely.
when you're looking at this beautiful rose in your garden, let's say,
Absolutely.
or this plant that you discover in the woods that you've never seen before, and it's got the most exquisite smell on the planet. You know, it's how could someone say there's not something bigger than us creating
Absolutely.
always?
Well, you know I'm a photographer, and
Yes.
a lot of what I do, I'm like, oh my goodness, look at the flower. Look at their faces. And they're like, can you stop? I'm like, look at your eyes.
Yes.
How can there not be a God? But I totally get that. The
Yeah.
beauty in the things that we take for granted.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, beautiful.
Just a quick share. I volunteered down at Ground Zero after 9/11.
Did
and,
you?
One of the things that happened down there that I don't know if anyone's spoken about, but it was all this monotone gray, right? Everything was gray from the ash.
Yes.
The monarch butterflies were migrating at that time, and there were so many of them, and you
my
would just be out in this monochromatic
Gray,
scene,
yeah.
gray, depressed. Everyone was sad, everyone was in earnest trying to help each other get
Yeah.
through this, and there were these pops of color, these vibrant, and it just seemed as if they were taking up pieces of ash and flying away
Oh,
with
my
them. It was
goodness.
just the most incredible experience. And so
goodness.
that's one
Yes.
of those things. You know, it's like even if you live in a town or a city, you can get out in nature and appreciate
Absolutely.
what's there.
I love it. Next slide. Meditation and prayer.
Meditation and prayer. Really important. And you know, you don't have to go sit on a cushion for an hour. Prayer can be as simple as, help me,
Simple.
thank you.
Yes.
Always thank you.
Yes. Yes.
It can be that
Yes.
simple.
Yes.
But to go through your day, you know, in just a way that's conscious and bringing that spirit in every moment. It's about bringing that sense of connection to God and Source and whatever you call it into your being.
Absolutely.
That is.
So meditation and prayer helps us to connect with God, to speak directly, and also
Exactly.
to hear and wait. Many of us just speak and walk away.
Exactly. Listening.
Yeah.
You know, spending the time, really taking the time to offer that prayer and then listen.
Absolutely.
Stop and listen. Just
Absolutely.
even if it's for 5 seconds, just stop
Absolutely.
and listen. Yeah.
Next slide.
Which brings us to...
Find your humor. Give me my laughing Jesus, Dylan. Find your humor. How can you not laugh when you see the laughing Jesus? Yeah, what do you have to say about that? There's nothing to say.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, you know, we're all spirits having a human experience, and it's, you know, it's
Laughter
funny.
is important.
It's funny.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
We're funny beings.
Funny and crazy and beautiful all at the same time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Cynthia.
Dee.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Okay,
All
guys.
right.
Now it's time for our funny video. Guilty dogs. Let's check them out.
Who pooped in the kitchen? Sonny? You pooped in the kitchen?
Brady, who ate the cookies? Who ate the cookies today, Brady? Brady, did you do this?
Did you do this? Hey, DOG, did you do that? Is that what you did? DOG, what'd you do to the carpet? And what'd you do to my hat? Did you chew up my hat?
Mojo, are you a bad dog? You're supposed to go pee outside. What happened, huh? Mojo? Mojo? Did you do that? Did you do that?
Oh.
What have you done? What's this? What's that? Bunny? What's this? What have you done? What have you done?
What have you done, Bonnie?
Bunny.
Who did it? Did Jazz do it? Jazzy girl, did you do it? Jazzy girl.
Jazzy girl.
I didn't do it.
So final thoughts. Thanks again, Cynthia.
Thank you, Dee. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. What have we learned today about spirituality and making it practical? Honesty is the first thing, being honest with ourselves, where we are. We don't have to perform to be spiritual. A part of us, a part of the most beautiful part of spirituality is admitting that we're nothing and that we mess up, you know, and humor, I love that. Yeah. Spirituality doesn't mean you can't laugh and you're so stiff. Laugh, enjoy life, you know, life is for living. All right, so you know where to find us on Facebook, Hanging Out with Dee. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.